All right, I knew Latta was going to win when I walked in and saw he got the endorsement from Santa Claus. I also knew it was a special election when I saw Santa Claus. Well, odd. Look, it's just a delight to be here. I did get to speak at the Lincoln Day dinner at Paul Gilmore's request, and got to see Bob and a lot of you. 16 counties coming together for one Lincoln Day dinner. There's nothing like it in Ohio, and it was really neat to see the affection for Paul Gilmore, who was one of my colleagues and one who you all respected and loved as a member of Congress. And I think he would be very pleased today to look down and see this guy about to replace him in the United States Congress, because he is an heir who is worthy in the sense that he has paid his dues. He's a good conservative. He's an honest guy with great values, great family values, and will represent this area well. There are three things that I want to focus on today, if I could. One is the fact that he knows this district inside and out. It is 16 counties. It's a big area. And as Wood County Commissioner, one of his colleagues was here from the commission, said he did a pretty good job for a young guy. But as a county commissioner, you deal with all the issues, and you deal with them at the ground level. And Bob's been through that, and Bob did a terrific job there. Then as a state senator, as a state representative, he's had the opportunity to be a legislator, to hear from his constituents. As a result, he knows the people of the 5th District, and he knows the issues of the 5th District and the needs of the 5th District. You talked a little about that in terms of job creation. But there's nobody better positioned to represent, which is ultimately what you do in the U.S. Congress. Having been there for 12 years, having had that privilege, you're representing the people, constituent service, representing the needs, and really being there for the people just as you have been for your entire career, and you've proven yourself. Second, he's a darn good legislator. I had the opportunity to speak to some of his colleagues today. Kevin DeWine and I drove up together, and I was asking about, what kind of legislator was Bob? I know him by reputation, but I hadn't had a chance to serve with him directly. And here are the words that I heard: conscientious, honest, hardworking, straight arrow. That means a lot. He can go to Washington and bring those kind of values, work ethic, that will help Washington to be a better place. It also, thank you. It's also great for this district to have somebody with that kind of background and that kind of values, those kind of character traits to be able to better represent the area, because you will do well in Washington. You'll stand out. Third, he represents the values and the views of this district. Now that's kind of important too, isn't it? To have somebody who's in the mainstream of this district, not somebody who gets elected in a special election because people don't show up at the polls but doesn't represent what people think and care about in this district. And Bob's talked about some of those issues. He talked about health care. He talked about making sure we're focused on providing health care that's affordable to the citizens of this country. He talked about energy. He talked about the fact that you want to have a system of immigration in this country that really does close down the borders, that ensures that you're not providing amnesty for people who come here illegally, thus rewarding them. These are important issues. I'll talk about one more that I worked a lot on in the last couple of years, and that's tax and spend. Here's a guy who knows, as a fiscal conservative, how to keep the budget down and therefore keep the taxes down. Now, when the Democrat majority in the U.S. House of Representatives came back into session a couple weeks ago, they had not completed one of the appropriations bills except for Department of Defense out of 12, so only one out of 12, for a fiscal year that ended over than 2 months ago. And they have spending plans to spend over $200 billion more over the next 5 years, over $20 billion more this year than the budget the President's put out, which is a responsible budget, and they have proposed the largest tax increase in American history. So they're not getting their work done. They're proposing more taxes, more spending. Do you want to send somebody from this district that supports that kind of Democrat leadership?
No.
Are those the views of this district?
No.
Do you want to send somebody like Bob Latta, who understands how to keep taxes low, how to keep spending low, and how to run the government in a fiscally prudent way?
Yes.
Yes. Well, then I think we have our man. To make that happen, I turn it back to you. You are doing all the right things by coming here today and being on the phone banks and going door to door and getting those signs out, but you got to somehow reach out even further, and we all have to our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, and tell them there's an election here. Because if the turnout is what it ought to be for a congressional election, Bob's going to be fine. Because the turnout in this district will be of people who do represent the kinds of values that Bob represents. But it's a matter of us getting that vote out. And a lot of people are focused already on my friend here to my left, Santa Claus. And they're focused on other things. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's a tough time. They focus people on the importance of electing good political leaders. We got to get that vote out, don't we? Are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Yes.